All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Houston Rockets Daily. My name is Jackson. I post daily Rockets content, so be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys enjoy it. I was just scrolling through Twitter. I was going to do an Eric Gordon trade video today because apparently the Houston Rockets are looking for, and we kind of know this, they're looking for either a first round draft pick, which I mean, good luck with that one, or a young, promising player. I think that's more so what I'm looking for, but I don't know what I don't know what's going to happen with Eric Gordon, to be quite honest with you. It's kind of crazy how we do this every single year. Every year, this is my third year technically covering the Houston Rockets. Third full year. Wow, time does go by fast. And I swear I talk about this every year. Every year, whether it's the regular season, whether it is the first half of the season, the trade deadline, the second half, the off season, it does not matter. That is something I realized is 3 straight years we've been talking about Eric Gordon possibly leaving the Houston Rockets. So I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but basically, and you guys can follow my Twitter right there. The link is down below. All my socials are, but I thought this was so funny. I could not believe that this is a real tweet. This is from Legion Hoops. I mean, it's not a crazy, it's a pretty big time Twitter account, 631K. But Tim McMahon butchered that on the significant possibility of James Harden heading back to Houston. Some people I've talked to in Houston say, hey, there's an understanding that James Harden really enjoys playing with Eric Gordon. Well, I mean, like obviously, I don't. People know that. I've never heard this guy, but he works for ESPN. He's got 69K tweets. So there was a really funny. Let's go. There was a really funny reply here. Oh no, maybe it's that one's pretty good. This isn't a react Twitter thread reaction, but oh man. Well, these are all pretty funny, but I swear there was a really good one. I've been hating on Eric Gordon. He might be the key to turning the franchise around. Incredible. That is kind of crazy. All right. I don't know what's. All right. Sorry. I thought there was something funny. Anyways, we talked about a month ago before I took a little hiatus from posting Daily Rockets content. We talked about a month ago James Harden coming back to Houston. Now the thing is this, the caveat is this. He's got a player option for this upcoming year. So the way I see it is unless like Philadelphia lost in the first round of the playoffs, which the way they're looking right now in the regular season and just the way their team is orchestrated, that's very hard for me to believe. I don't see Philadelphia losing first round. So I don't really see James Harden leaving. I really don't. I don't think Philadelphia is going to win the NBA Finals. That would complicate this a little bit more. The reason I'm bringing that up is because James Harden will be 34 this summer, right? So I'm pretty open to the idea of James coming back to Houston. However, if we start getting up until like, and I mean right now, like if he were to get traded to the Houston Rockets right now, I would not be upset. All right, Kevin, hop on the bench, right? And James, come on and start. And like this might sound like a hot take. I don't think it's that hot of a take. I think if James Harden was on this Houston Rockets team, I think he would at least. I mean, we'd at least have 20 wins. We wouldn't have 10 wins. We wouldn't be the worst team in the National Basketball Association. I think everyone would agree with that statement. I really like the way James has just kind of changed his game. I know he struggled in the playoffs last year, but he was dealing with some injuries. And he also got traded mid-year to Philadelphia. But so far this year with Philly, he's averaging almost a career high in assists, and that dates all the way back to 2016, 2017, James Harden with the Houston Rockets, where he had a phenomenal season, shooting 46% from 45% from the field, which technically is higher than his career average, but it's just, his career average is 44. Shooting 38% from downtown, He's only taking about 15 shots a game. He's putting up 22 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 11.1 assists, which is just zero point 0.1 assists away from his career high, like I said, in 2016, 2017. His usage is all the way below. We never saw his usage numbers around this. It's around 25. It's very similar to Kevin Porter Jr.'s usage rate. We've never seen this since his last year in Oklahoma City. So it's just a different James Harden. And if we have a healthy James Harden, or sorry, I should reword that. If a team has a healthy James Harden, they're going to enjoy having James Harden on their team. But that's the big caveat is by the time his contract is over, by the time that player option is done, if he were to spend the next year and a half with the Philadelphia 76ers, well, he'll be 35. He'll be 35 entering free agency. So I think at that point, um, and I could be wrong because we're seeing guys like LeBron James at 38 do what he's doing. Point guard wise, we're seeing Kyle Lowry still looks good. Chris Paul, I mean, they're both Chris Paul's numbers. He's having a tough year. He's been injured a lot. I think a fair amount of people would agree with the statement of I don't feel that great about a starting point guard being 35 plus. So yeah, I'm not a Suns fan and I'm not a Heat fan, but I wouldn't like ideally want Chris Paul as my starter at this age, and I wouldn't ideally want Kyle Lowry as my starter at that age either. So if James Harden were to come to Houston, I would think it would be in a year and a half, unless there was some turmoil within the Philadelphia 76er organization this upcoming, not this, maybe this offseason. That's kind of hard to believe, but probably like around a year from now, around next year's trade deadline. So, I mean, it's kind of unlikely that I think, unless he's out of contract and entering free agency, that he does come back to Houston. And as far as this report goes, I it's kind of crazy. Some people I've talked to in Houston say, hey, there's an understanding that James Harden really enjoys playing with Eric Gordon. I don't know how on earth that's a report. I keep seeing recently jokes about sports journalists being like kind of the laughing stock as far as journalism goes, and this doesn't necessarily do it any justice. I think that's more of like an ESPN thing. I don't really just it's not like the best capital J. They're not. They're lowercase J's. No shade thrown. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say. Like I said, I know I made a video not too long ago, but the thing is, uh, you know, a year and a half from now, I think I'll go out on a limb and say Kevin Porter Jr. won't be the starting point guard for the Houston Rockets. Maybe he's still starting for us. Maybe he's on a different team. Maybe he's coming off of our bench. Ideally, to me, he's coming off of our bench. I made a whole video about that like 3 months ago. That was not people didn't enjoy that video now, but people are kind of starting to come around like, oh, hey, the KPJ point guard experiment didn't work, but the KPJ experiment's working. How's that? Right? Do Rock fans like the sound of that? So we need a starting point guard by then. Or you have 35-year-old James Harden, but I don't know. Just kind of fun to speculate a little bit because the Rockets have 10 wins on the season. So it's not a great, it hasn't been a great year for us, right? That's it for today. If you guys enjoyed it, hit the like button, hit that sub button, share your opinions down below. I love reading them. And stay tuned for a live stream relatively soon. We got Charlotte tonight. By the time a lot of you guys watch it, the game will be over. I'm hoping for a loss, although morale, that's not ideal.